they commit suicide. Many people with every resource you can think of are going through inferiority complex. This is all child. Like, welcome to Spark Sports. I'm your number one person, Nick Divine. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed to our channel, for all the followers of Spark Sports, for those who are making all the shares, for all the comments. I'm very grateful. We've been on a very interesting topic titled Inferiority Complex. We've been learning all we should know about inferiority complex, and today we said we'll continue from where we stopped from last video. In case you didn't know, watch our last video about inferiority complex and you want to know what inferiority complex is. In order for you not to lose out, you can go back and go and see all we said in the last video. We said today we will talk about the effects of inferiority complex and the dangers of inferiority complex and how to handle inferiority complex. But before we talk about the effects, the dangers, and how to handle inferiority complex, how about we talking about the causes of inferiority complex? Before we talk about how to take care of something, we should know what brings about the situation. What are the causes of inferiority complex? A primary cause of inferiority complex starts from childhood. Children who are raised in environments where there is a high rate of comparison might not come directly. For example, a parent asking the child to look at other children, are you not seeing how better they are doing, something like that. The comparison might come in the structure of maybe a child wants to go for a position in school, or a child wants to feature in something, and the parents will be like, what do you want to do? Can't you see we are par? Or can't you see people that are involved in this are way up, like stuff like that, making a child feel less of his or herself. This is the primary cause of inferiority complex. A child who is being raised in an environment where comparison is always present has a high tendency of growing up to have low self-esteem, because the child will be feeling inadequate and not good enough. Children are very fast in acknowledging the opinions of their parents and the guidance. When you always remind the child that he or she is just not good enough, or you keep making the child feel not up to standard, or you keep making the child feel not worthy of a particular position or participating in a particular thing or being seen in a particular place, you are creating low self-esteem in the life of that child. Now, this is a primary cause of inferiority complex. Inferiority complex can also be caused by depression. Don't forget, we said depression is one of the symptoms of inferiority complex. Now, we are also saying that depression can also cause inferiority complex. Now, thinking about your past failures, things that did not go well, always thinking about them and allowing them to take a bigger part of you can create a big room for you to be a victim of inferiority complex. Inferiority complex can also be caused from trauma history of trauma or abuses. For example, parents are advised to not make children grow up in environments where they live in timidity. You should allow your children to express themselves. Give them an environment, or anything you can call it, just make it easy for children to express themselves. You know what, the scolding, every time you are shouting at the child, every time you are trying to tame a child, you're not trying to allow a child to express his or herself. You always want the child to behave like an adult. This can lead to inferiority complex. Children who grew up in environments and families where they experience a whole lot of abuses, you find that child having low self-esteem. Sometimes these kind of children end up being losers to the society because they turn out to some things we never even imagined. I advise that we allow children, because primarily inferiority complex starts from childhood. It starts mainly from childhood, and we grow into adults with it. So in this case of inferiority being caused by abuses, especially, family should watch it. Watch the kind of punishment the child is given, how a child is being tamed. A child should be allowed to express his or herself. Make children feel strong, good enough, inadequate, worthy of anything beautiful the life they are living in can offer to them. Now, let's talk about the effects and dangers of inferiority complex. Some people are asking, okay, fine, inferiority complex for a rich man, how is it affecting the rich man? You have the money, stuff like that. So, if you think you have money and you want to know how dangerous inferiority complex is to even you who have money, you have to listen and find out all you should know about the effects and dangers of inferiority complex. Number one effect of inferiority complex is that it stops one, or it affects one's functionality in workplaces, in school, or family, etc. It affects the way you function. Okay, inferiority complex can cause a lot of distractions for you. For example, you have goals to achieve with money, you have goals you want to achieve with money, but because you want to meet up, you don't want to look like, you don't want to feel left behind, you don't want to look detailed, you don't want to look like, for example, I'll give you an example. You are going for a social gathering and you have wares, you have wares that can actually serve, but you do that feeling of I'm the boss. You feel that when you wear your own stuffs you have, oh, everybody is going to look down on you. That's inferiority complex. Now, if you're not careful, you will find yourself always wasting resources on unnecessary things, trying to prove rubbish to other people because you are not feeling good enough. This is a bad effect of inferiority complex. Inferiority complex, when it comes to affecting the way you function, can also affect the your social life, the way you interact with people. We say that people who feel inferior, we have those, the way it affects them is that they don't like participating in social activities. This is an effect of inferiority complex. Another effect of inferiority complex is that you find yourself fulfilling the desires of other people, even when it means it takes you to sacrifice your own desires, to sacrifice your own goals, to sacrifice your own everything just to achieve their desire. Not because you so care or love them, but because you don't believe that you are worthy of having your own desires come first. You think that the person's desire should always come first because you feel you are inferior to the person. Listen to me, not because in relationship and friendship sometimes you have to sacrifice our own desires to please the other person, but in the case of inferiority complex, you always find yourself pleasing, if it's your partner, pleasing your partner, being only what suits your partner because you believe you are unworthy of bringing your own desires upfront. Sometimes you will find yourself never achieving your own goals. You'll find yourself never living your life. You'll find yourself living for somebody else, living for other people. You find yourself just doing what other people say is right, not what you want for yourself. That is a big effect of inferiority complex. A poor man can be a victim of this effect, and a rich man can be a victim of this effect of inferiority complex. Now, let's talk about suicidal thoughts.